So we'll start with the introduction. So we'll see the basic terms, small terms as the introduction. Right? So before going to the design, we'll see few terms like what is a structure, what is a flexion member, what is compression member. So those basic terms we will see now. So first term is structure. So anybody have any idea what is a structure or how to define a structure?
Which takes some load and transmit it to some other elements.
Okay, anything which transfers the load. That's
Yes,
what you mean to say, sir.
yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that is also a structure, but uh, for a structure there are three definitions. Right? So, first definition for a structure is it is a combination of members and elements. So anything which is a combination of members and elements is called as the structure. Not only the building. Anything which is a combination of members and elements is called as a structure. For example, if you take this H2O, water, right? So this is also a structure because it is a combination of two elements, right? Hydrogen and oxygen. So similar way, anything is a combination of members and elements is called as the structure. So now the question is what is by the member and what is element, right? So that should. So what is a member? So member means which has small voids. Right? So in a building, I will draw the sketch of a structure. So in a building, there will be a lot of members as well as lot of elements, right? So there are so many members and elements. So this is your slab and there are beams. So here B1, B2, B3 and B4. And there are columns as well, column 1, column 2, column 3 as well as column 4. And below the ground level there is 4 pedestal, P1, P2, P3 and P4. Similar way there is footing, right? So there are so many members and elements. So what is the difference between this member and element? So member means which has a small voids. That means the width of that member is small, right? If you take any beam, if you consider any beam, so generally the size of the beam it will be around 230 by 230 or 230 by 450. So it will have a small wide, right? Around 0.45 meter or 0.23 meter, right? So beam comes under the member category. Similarly, column will be also same way, zero point 0.3 by zero point 0.3, it will be less than 1 meter only, right? So column also has a small wide. Similarly, pedestal also it's a small column type only, right? Small column we can say. So pedestal also will have a small wide. So all these members, sorry, beams, columns and the pedestal, all these are comes under the member category. And what is an element? Element means something which has a large wide. Right? Say for example, if you take this slab generally it will be minimum 2 meter, right? So it depends upon your room size. Minimum 2 by 2 room size will be minimum 2 by 2, not less than that, right? So it will be minimum 2 meter. So it has a larger wide. So slab is an element, and footing. Footing also minimum 1.5 to 2 meter. We generally put even for the residential building, a small building also minimum it will be 1.5 meter or 2 meter, right? So this also has a larger wide. So for under element, slab and the footing are element, right? Here there is one more thing which is left, right? So we have seen the slab, beam, column, pedestal and footing. One more thing is left out. What is that? So we have wall, right? Here there is a wall, right? This wall I didn't include under the structural member or element category. Wall also has a large wide, so it can also be an element. But why I have not included here? The reason is wall is not a structural element, right? It's just an architectural fill. The architectural element, right? It's not a structural element. So we basically have the two types of buildings, right? One is load bearing structure, the other one is the frame structure. But nowadays, no one does the load bearing structure. It's all frame structure only. So in frame structure, no load is transferred to the wall. So wall is not a structural element, right? It's just an architectural element, right? So this is one definition for a structure. Not at the definition is not yet over. The second definition for a structure is it should resist or take all types of load. So generally in a building there will be multiple loads acting. Say for example, gravity load will be acting. So gravity load means any load acting in the direction of gravity. That's the gravity load. That includes your dead load, live load, snow load, etc. There are many other loads also, right? So and also later load also will be acting, like wind and seismic, right? So there are multiple loads will be acting in a building, and this structure it should able to resist or take all these types of loads. Then only it's called as structure, right? Third thing is it should not only resist the load, but it should also have the capacity to transfer the load, right? It should transfer the load safely and successfully. So how will you ensure that the building transfers the load to the ground safely and successfully during the construction? How will you ensure that the load is properly transferred or not? So any idea, anybody have any idea how to ensure?
By taking proper foundation.
By taking proper foundation. I didn't get you, sir.
I mean, we should. I mean, whatever the size of the footing, that matters a lot in.
That's okay, sir. But still, uh, even though the foundation size, whatever it is, it may be as per the design. But still, during the construction, how can we ensure? After casting all your slab, beam, column, how to ensure that, sir? So basically, there are three criteria to ensure that our load is being transferred to the ground or not. So first criteria is there should not be any abnormal deflections. So that means deflections do happen, slab do deflect and beams also do deflect. So deflections do happen, but there should not be any abnormal deflections. So that means normal deflections are allowed. There should not be any abnormal deflections, right? So if you take a structure, if this is your beam, supposing this beam is having 5-meter length and the depth can be 230 mm. For example, I'm telling. So for this, if the beam is deflecting like this, and for this case, if the deflection say it is 20 mm, that is allowable deflection. Allowable deflection is 20 mm. If the beam deflects more than 20 mm, or supposing if it deflects up to 1 meter, for example, I'm telling. So this is very abnormal, right? So this abnormal deflection should not happen, right? If this happens, then we can easily ensure that the load is not properly transferred to ground, right? So normal deflections, how the permissible limits of things are given in the code. So according to the code, what is your permissible deflection? That you have to maintain, right? Second criteria is there should not be any abnormal cracks. Cracks also generally happen, minute cracks. That also should be within your permissible crack width. So crack width also it is mentioned in the code, how much should be, right? So within that limit, your crack should be, right? There should not be any abnormal cracks. Third thing is there should not be any abnormal settlement. So settlement means it's generally the displacement of ground, right? So why the settlement happens? So for example, if this is your ground, for example, this is your ground, which has a capacity of say 2000 kilonewton, right? If the load coming on this ground is more than 2000, say for example 2500 kilonewton. So the capacity is only 2000. If the load is more than the capacity, obviously what will happen, this soil will settle down, right? So there will be some displacement of the ground. So that's the settlement. So there should not be any abnormal settlement. That is also within your, as per the code provisions, right? So how to ensure that if there is any abnormal settlement or not? So if this is the building, how to ensure during your construction? So if this is the building, so we can measure these heights. So from the ground level, what is the height at this point? At all these four corners, we can measure these heights and check if there is any level variation. So all these levels should be equal, right? So if there is any level variations, that means that there must have any settlement would have happened. So likewise, we can ensure during the construction, right? So this is about the structure. So this is what it is given here. So it's a combination of member and element that takes all types of loads and transfer them safely and successfully to ground. So that is called as the structure.